You're listening to WJHS 91.5 The Eagle. Welcome to Media in the Making, a podcast where we look at the evolution of media from 1600s all the way to present day 2020. In this podcast series, you will learn how different forms of media have changed culture. Media in the Making, where media and culture are always changing. Now let's take a step back in time. The iPhone. The first thing you think of after you hear those words is the newest screen, such as the iPhone 11 that has 3 cameras and facial recognition. You probably don't think of a bulky, 4-inch long phone that had one barely functioning camera and was used to mainly call, email, and surf the web. My name is Marissa Baer.
And my name is Katie Hesting. In this podcast, we'll be talking about how social media and the iPhone intertwine and affect culture. The first iPhone was announced on January 9th, 2007. It was made to combine multiple functions into one. Steve Jobs described it as an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. Are you getting it? These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device.
Social media apps came along with the invention of the iPhone. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all the modern popular apps that we have now were just coming out, or around the time the iPhone was created. Twitter had been created in 2006, so it was just gaining more popularity when the iPhone 1 was released.
The reason why so many people wanted to buy an iPhone was because it was much more technologically advanced than the IBM Simon, which was the first quote-unquote smartphone created in 1994. The IBM Simon was essentially a landline phone with a touchscreen and a built-in calendar. The iPhone was more affordable than the smartphone. The iPhone cost $500 and the IBM Simon cost $900. You paid less money for more technology.
When people started buying the iPhone, it gave them a way to connect with each other in more than one way with social media. It makes contacting each other more accessible when you can't talk to each other in person. By sharing pictures and messages on different platforms, you communicate your message in different ways. You can use these platforms in a way that will actually make you feel more connected or more alone.
For example, if you make an effort to see your friends regularly and just use social media to talk to them when you can't see them at the moment, you'll feel more connected. If you use social media in a positive way and in moderation, you'll benefit from it. But if you use social media in unhealthy amounts to distract yourself from the situation you're in, you'll be negatively impacted from it.
These are just 2 examples of what can happen with social media. But there's many other experiences that affected people, that ultimately affected culture because of social media. And the iPhone influenced it by causing it to spread with more people purchasing the iPhone.
You were able to post, send messages, make a comment, reply to messages and comments, and receive feedback. Social media was growing and growing more as time went on. It was forming into what we know and what we're used to today, within the 5-year span between 2006 and 2010.
Before it was said the iPhone was more affordable than the first smartphone, but later the iPhone did become more expensive, so it was considered a status symbol because other phones were much cheaper. Now that more people were buying it, how is that affecting their lives? We already talked about how it can make you feel more connected or alone, but what about the quality of those connections when you do make them?
When a mobile device is present when people are talking with each other face to face, some people just stare at their phone, barely acknowledging the conversation. But when people are respectful and listen to you with their full attention, then you feel valued and have higher chances of having a meaningful conversation.
You feel closer with each other when both ends are actively listening because it shows you care about the conversation. Social media contributes to what they look at, and most go to it first. It becomes instinctual for some to just pull out their phone right away if they are waiting, and some use it to avoid interactions.
These situations where people are on their phone instead of starting a conversation make people miss out on life's greatest moments. The iPhone, social media, and culture all have an effect on each other, and only the people can change what they don't like about each of those parts in society today. That was Media in the Making, brought to you by WJHS 91.5 and the Eagle Tech Academy Mass Media classes. Media in the Making aims to teach you about the evolution of media throughout history and its effects on culture. For more from the students, our podcast series will be on the 91.5 website, wjhs.org. Thank you for tuning in.